Hello and welcome to a new video. In today's video, I am finally going to be able to hit Legend this season. This is by far the latest point I have ever hit Legend in the GO Battle League. Even with the kind of, what's called like the old seasons where I was ranked 10 as the highest rank, and the seasons were like only 6 weeks or 8 weeks long, I still was able to hit Legend earlier than this season. It's only like, I don't know, like 5-6 days until the season is going to change. So yeah, that was quite a bit of a tough one, but you see the team already on the screen that got me over that finish line. And yeah, we're gonna talk a little bit about the season. The problems that I had mainly, a lot of people had the similar problems as well though with it. Why this team is so great and why I was able to now finally hit it and also quite comfortably there. This team was ridiculous, by the way. This is a team that I haven't shown you yet, because this is the team that I was expecting me to get over the finish line, basically, because basically this is a team that I was playing already the last time Great League was around, and I purposefully didn't do a video around it because I was expecting that this is most likely the team that is going to be able to get me over that line, because it is such a strong one, and next season it's just not gonna work the same way anymore because Superior is gonna get nerfed, but I think it's still gonna work with that Venusaur potentially. So, we're going to have here also a little bit of a longer video because, again, we're going to have a lot of gameplay here. I have actually done, I think, at least like 15 sets of it. We see 3 sets here today, which is going to be the last 3 sets. Nothing cut out, nothing changed or anything like this. Those are the last 3 sets that got me up to Legend later on then. And it's going to show the greatness of especially Primeape with Ice Punch, in my opinion, was the strongest Pokemon. But I also really enjoyed Magcargo, and Magcargo works so well together with that Venusaur that this team itself is just so great together. So, what was the issue this season? Why did it take me an entire month longer than usual? To be fair, I was quite busy throughout the season. Like, I was away multiple times there as well, where I just didn't have the time. I didn't really enjoy the different kind of small metas. I felt like not really any cup was that handy. I feel like I think we had like Fossil Cup or whatever. I'm not the biggest fan of like those cups that are very, very centered around like 3-4 types. I think it's kind of getting very stale after a while. I think we had like basically only cups like this season. Next year is going to be better. They're going to be different cups that are a little bit wider. Like we have a Halloween cups where like a lot more Pokemon are allowed. We have the Remix Cup for the Great League, which I really enjoy usually. We have Retro Cup in the beginning. That's all going to be a bit better than this season. This season I found quite a bit difficult with the cups as well. The main issue for me, honestly, was the meta though this season. The thing is, the changes of the season kinda allowed the meta to be absolutely open and wide, which generally is not a bad thing whatsoever. A lot of Pokemon going to have a lot of play, but finding a team that can actually counter the current meta was, in my opinion, until I got to this team here, basically impossible to have great, consistent results. And so you barely saw like teams from me as well. I mainly showcased like cool Legend teams, stuff like this. You barely saw like teams where like, oh, this team went 15-0 or something like this, because I felt like it was basically next to impossible to find teams that completely destroy the meta, because the meta was so wide that you couldn't cover up basically for all of the potential weaknesses of a team, the potential Pokemon you're going to face. I made lists of the Pokemon that I encountered, tried to analyze which lead would be the best, and at the end of the day, I tried it out and I just got hard rolled with the next Pokemon that would be coming up on that list. And it was just basically impossible to find really a solution to the problem unless you kind of go a little bit further outside of the meta, which we have been doing here with this team. We're going to play Pokemon like Superior, which barely has any usage currently, and the Magcargo, which literally barely has any usage currently as well. Here, by the way, it's kind of funny, we're going to encounter what's called a Gliscor with the fast move of Sandtomb, and they catch the move here onto the Stunfisk, and I go into the wrong Pokemon. Good job, me. That was literally the worst possible way of playing everything out here. But yeah, let's see how this battle is still gonna go. We're still not gonna give up. But yeah, the team here itself is great. But honestly, I would have been already able to hit Legend quite a bit earlier if it wasn't for the one-turn lag. Especially throughout the last like 2-3 weeks, it was kind of ridiculous. And now I played today my battles, and I don't think I got one-turn lag a single time. I don't think it'll happen a single time today. Could be because my phone got updated, Pokemon Go got updated. There's like a new update now where everything looks a little bit more sparkly or whatever when you put up a shield or whatever. I saw a lot of memes about that online. I think it's kind of funny though looking. But yeah, I think maybe something has changed for the better. I'm not too sure. I just did my 3 sets today and I basically literally didn't have any kind of lag at all, which was refreshing because just the days before I lost, I think the day yesterday I lost around 5 battles just because of the 1-turn lag. And that's just gonna change stuff, and that's kind of something that is kind of was continuing throughout the season as well, which made it a little bit more awkward. And just like the issue is there as well, like I feel like I kind of have a phone that's kind of not great with a lag. I have like a very solid Samsung phone though, but I feel like there are other people that just don't have the lag as constantly as I am. At least my opponents don't really seem to have those issues as often as I had them this season. But at the end of the day, I don't really want to talk much more longer about it. Today was a great day. Like there was nothing really that was going on. I hope this continues, and I hope that lag is not going to be something that we have to talk about in the future. But yeah, honestly, I don't really want to even pull onto that. My main issue was, I think, the metas, especially like the last week was like Catch Cup. I didn't even make a video towards any of my Catch Cup progress because I wanted to hope they get to Legend already in that meta. I was running a team of Shadow Giratina, Klefki as a Say Swap, and a single move Daxman in the back. And honestly, it worked out quite well until like people were starting to build crazy Pokemon, and I encountered basically an XL Diggersby every single battle. Then it kind of went downhill. Here, by the way, I think I could have won this battle if I went for double Frenzy Plant. I kind of underestimated the damage of Frenzy Plant. I thought that Aerial Ace would be the better move to go for. But I think if I went for double Frenzy Plant, I would have been able to win this battle here as well. Because looking at the damage here real quick, we're going to see that's not going to do that much. And if we're going to take a look at the Frenzy Plant damage, it looks quite a bit more, I think, than the Aerial Ace. I think if I went for 2 of them, I would have been fine here. I didn't go for it. My fault. Again, I expected that Aerial Ace would be the better move to go for. Most likely was wrong there. Could have won this battle here. But yeah, again, this is going to be my season 1. Let me know down below, by the way, what is your rank? What is your rank for the season? I would love to see on where you ended up. Like, did you stop playing after a while? What was the reason for it? Yeah, I found the meta itself, I think it was kind of cool that the meta was so wide and open. I still felt like people were kind of forced to having certain Pokemon in their team. But yeah, I feel like I kind of was a little bit freer with this team that I am running here. There are other teams as well that I haven't showcased yet that I was running beforehand that got me up a little bit of elo as well. Not too sure if I'm going to still showcase it this season because the season is going to be over. I think I'm going to focus mainly now on maybe one more cool team or something, and then I'm going to mostly focus mainly on like top teams and all that kind of stuff for the next season. But yeah, let me know down below what's the rank, what's the current elo as well here. I'm happy that I was able to hit Legend again. This is going to be my Legend video. I'm not going to say like, oh my god, what's going to happen in this video. But yeah, this is going to be luckily continuing my streak. I have been able to hit the highest rank in the GO Battle League in every single season that ever was released. I have every single outfit, I have everything completely unlocked, and so I'm happy that this can continue. And I think now it's kind of a good time to start talking a little bit about the team here. Serperior. Serperior is a Pokemon that you don't see it already anymore. It's not the prioritized Grass-type Pokemon, and it's also going to be kind of disappearing next season for sure, as it's not going to be too great with the Aerial Ace change on it. It's not going to really help this Pokemon out at all. It's going to just weaken it a little bit up. It's going to change the moveset. If you want to run it, most likely you're going to run it with a Leaf Tornado. But the main idea here was honestly the lead that we're going to have here. It's going to be the Magcargo. Why Magcargo? Because I got kind of sick and tired of Talonflame and Scizor. Those were the 2 Pokemon that I kind of identified for me that I wanted to beat. And honestly, like Magcargo is a Pokemon that is kind of out of the meta, but has like so much potential. Also, Moltres is a thing. Moltres was quite common, especially after the World Championship, and also after the quest that we had this season where people were able to pay for one. Yeah, this Pokemon was quite common this season, and I kind of want to counter that one as well. So here I make a mistake. Here I went for the Rage Twist. At the end of the day, it really doesn't matter. It really doesn't change anything. I can still go for another Rage Twist here. And so it changed absolutely nothing. But basically, here, this Pokemon Magcargo had a lot of potential, and especially in the lead, you had the option, if you're going to win the lead matchup, you're going to be able to still stay in and go for a Rock Tomb and then weaken the next matchup as well and try to realign yourself, which was great. Honestly, the star of the show was Shadow Primeape. This was also a Pokemon that I really wanted to test out because I saw that more and more people were starting to run Bastiodon. This was also the reason why I stopped using the team that I used before, which was Shadow Scizor, Azumarill, and the Bastiodon, which is a very, very more toxic strategy, but I didn't really have success with it at all in the open meta. I coached someone to Legend with this team though, so which is also kind of cool. But basically, it didn't really have that much play in the open meta. They played it in the Catch Cup, where it was a bit stronger. But yeah, I didn't really feel like this team would really work out because of the amount of Bastion that I called myself against me. And like, Azumarill is alright, Bastion is alright, but I would always kind of end up in situations which I wasn't able to win. So yeah, this is kind of the story why I also Primeape. I thought it was kind of cool. I want to have like kind of fighting type Pokemon on my team because there was quite a weakness to fighting type on that one. But I didn't really like Annihilate that much because I think Annihilate is quite a bit clunky. I think it's still a cool Pokemon, but I feel like Primeape is a bit safer because of the amount of energy that you generate on this Pokemon. It just makes things a little bit easier. And that's why we're also going to have here a nice coverage move on it, which you saw already several times coming clutch in the gameplay that we had here today, which is going to be the Ice Punch. Ice Punch is crucial for this team. This team doesn't function if you run close combat on this Pokemon. And I tell you also why. Because you have a Pokemon Elite that is considered one of the best anti-flyer Pokemon. So imagine what you're gonna get out when you face up a fighting type Pokemon, the opponent's flying type Pokemon. And the cool thing about Ice Punch on a Shadow Primeape needs to be Shadow, at least in my opinion, is going to be that you're going to have so much potential against the current most common flying type Pokemon, as a lot of them are double weak to Ice. We have Jumpluff, which in the Shadow form goes down after one Ice Punch and a few fast moves. In the other form, you have to go for a Rage Fist and then Ice Punch, but you still should be kind of fine there as well. Or like you can go for the Ice Punch first and then Rage Fist up and try to farm down. Should work out as well. But you should be able to kind of realign against both of them, like both Jumpluffs, but also against Gligar, you're going to be able to realign yourself, which is going to be cool. And still people have to fear the potential of close combat on yours. So even Pokemon that usually maybe wouldn't shield, they're still going to shield here. And so let's jump in right into this battle here. Now we can start a little bit commentating about also the weaknesses of this team. We're going to see a Talonflame the lead, which is generally considered a very good lead for us, but this team struggles a lot against Annihilate. Annihilate is actually one of the worst Pokemon that you can encounter for this team. But we're going to play it a little bit creative here. I'm not too sure, by the way, if this is going to be a win or not, but we play it out like this. We're going to decide to go straight into our, it's called here Superior. We're going to be able to go for that Aerial Ace, let the move go. And I'm actually happy that they're going to get to a move here, because this is going to allow us to give them a little bit less farm on their Talonflame. Well, we still should be able to get to an Aerial Ace here and do a little bit of damage, which is going to be alright for us, as now we can align our Magcargo. Magcargo is going to have an alright matchup here as well, and we don't have to shield really anything. Still, while we are a Rock type and a Fire type, the Brave Bird of a Talonflame is still chunking away quite a bit, as you're gonna see as well. And they reveal that they have Azumarill in the back, the Pokemon that I really didn't want to face here, and this is very likely going to be a loss based on that. Azumarill itself is actually alright. Primeape, I think, wins this in the 2-shield scenario if you're just gonna go straight for the Rage Fist if you encounter, for example, an Azumarill in the lead. But otherwise you have Superior and how to deal with it. Just in the current circumstances that I'm in, I had no chance there. The main issue for this team actually was the Annihilate. Annihilate is the worst Pokemon that you can encounter for me, period. There was not a single other Pokemon that I was like more scared of. I do think that maybe in the lead a Golduck would be a little bit more tricky as well because of Primeape's fast move being double resisted. But then again, you have Rage Fist as well, so not too bad either. But as you can see here, we're sadly going to lose this battle. But let's take a look now at the next opponent. So, we have Magcargo and Dunsparce. That's a horrible lead for us. So what we want to do here for this team is we want to swap out. We want to swap out into our Primeape. And here we see exactly why Ice Punch is so important on this Pokemon. We can go ahead, go straight for the Ice Punch. We're not going to be able to knock them out, but what we can do is we can align ourselves. And now the lead matchup, which was really bad for us, as the opponent has Drill Run, which is going to one-shot us. It's actually not going to one-shot us. It's going to do around like 90% of our health, I think. Is going to be such a bad one for us. But they're going to reveal that they have the Talonflame in the back, and we had Superior in the back as well. So we would have had a really bad matchup there. We would have got hard-walled. But because we had the Ice Punch on to our Primeape, we were able to now, align ourselves correctly, win the battle, and we can move on to the next opponent. Where a Galarian Corsola is waiting for us. They swap out here into the Primeape, and you see me staying in here actually, which is seemingly a little bit of a weird play. But I can go for the Rock Tomb, which is going to force the shield here early and allows me to get the opponent also kind of low in terms of the health that they have. Primeape isn't really a bulky Pokemon, so our fast moves were really chunking away on the health there. We're going to be able to even get another charge move off here and very likely force both shields from the opponent. And that's kind of great, because what we can do next is we can use a shield if I really want to. If I put it, like if it's an Ice Punch, it is an Ice Punch. I actually decide to no shield here as well. Because my play here is now, we know there's a Corsola, we know that Primeape is such a safe play, we know that Corsola is the main anti-fighting type Pokemon. If I just get energy on my own Primeape, I have a great chance here of just destroying everything with this Pokemon, as Rage Fist is going to do so much damage against that Corsola, even though it's not stab. This move is ridiculous. It's not going to get nerfed anytime soon either, which is kind of cool. And as you're going to see here, we're going to have another Rage Fist coming through, this time around with a +1 attack on our Shadow Primeape, and we're going to completely destroy that Corsola and force the opponent to forfeit with their Diggersby. So next up, we're going to have a matchup that I don't really play out that perfect. We're going to have the Drifloon against us. That's actually really good though to encounter in the lead. I'm just going to straight away go for the shield here. It could be a Shadow Ball. They go for the Icy Wind. I'm just going to go for one extra. I can go for the Rock Tomb. And honestly, I should have most just went ahead and went straight for my Rock Tomb next afterwards. Because then, at the opportunity, if they want to really go for the Shadow Ball and shield up again, to go into my Primeape afterwards, ramp up my energy, ramp up my damage output with the Rage Fist, and we've had a shield advantage then as well, which would have been cool. Now I don't have that shield advantage anymore. I still have my Magcargo, and I played it interestingly because I decided to get up to an overheat and then swap out. Why is this so important? Let's take a look at this. We are going to be able to, go up here, have the Diggersby against us. They're going to get the attack drop, but we can overfarm it quite a bit and go for the Ice Punch. I hope they use a shield, expecting a close combat. Could be knocking them out. It's going to be the shield against the Ice Punch, which is great. Because now, we still have Superior. I'm waiting out the clock, which is absolutely what we need to do. They decide to go for the Fire Punch, which is alright. We can take 2 of them easily. And they decide to swap out into their Scizor, and I still have my Charge Move stored, I still have my Overheat, I can one-shot the opponent, they can still farm me down with their Diggersby, they still get 5,000 moves in here, which is kind of alright for them, but we are still going to be able to outspeed them here, they know that, and they forfeit this battle. 3 more battles to go. We're going to see the Typhlosion in the lead. A very good lead for us. Let's swap onto the Primeape, and again you see me staying in here for a little bit because I am afraid of fighting type Pokemon with my backline as well. Rage is coming through. With that, I am going to be able to drop the opponent's attack even further here again. I'm going to be back at neutral. And you may be wondering why did I do this? Why did I stay in there? Why is my Magcargo now low? Which is the main answer to the opponent's lead matchup. Because I kind of want to focus on my Primeape. Because I know that my Primeape, with the energy that I have, is going to be alright against the Typhlosion as well. And we need to kind of get some damage against the Typhlosion anyway, and so what we see here is that I can go for the Rage Fist spam. I will be able to do some solid damage against them, knock them out here actually, and in comes the Swampert, which means we have the perfect alignment here again, as Superior is something that most people don't expect. And this is honestly the beauty of this team. A lot of people just don't expect the Pokemon that we have here, because this team is so kind of out of the meta currently that people don't really expect any of that. I see a lot of Mud Boys, especially Gastron, in the back with this team before. I don't think in the battles here today, but in the battles before. And nobody really expects any of that. And they decide to just, go ahead, have the Gastron in the back. Usually I win with that in the back. But nobody expects a Superior. Really, nobody expects that. And here we're going to see now the Moltres coming in. Are you ready to take an Ice Punch? Let's find out. You are definitely ready to take that one because, they let the move go. Now they're in the range where even I can Vine Whip them down. That Pokemon is basically down, but I also have the opportunity now to go for the farm down here with my Magcargo, and I decided to go for the Rock Tomb here. What this allows me to do is I can just take the hits easier on my Superior. I was well aware that they very likely decided to, no shield that one because they knew it was just a Rock Tomb, but that's alright for us because we kind of just want to get them low, we kind of just want to get the shields on them. I can just go for the baits. Again, actually when we have Leaf Tornado, this is going to be a little bit better here as well for you. Aerial Ace is not directly needed on this Pokemon. It's cool for the fighting type matchups though, but that's basically where the Aerial Ace is needed. Our team is supposed to be baiting out the flying type Pokemon anyway, like for example a Jumpluff or whatever, where you would use Aerial Ace. You should not really be in that scenario. And what you see here is I decided to actually use a no shield here. Why did I do this? Because I was hoping that my Magcargo is going to be the one that's going to win me the battle. But this is risky because I expect the opponent to swap out any second, and so I overfarm. And I overfarm even more, and now I'm at 2 charge moves, so it doesn't really matter what the opponent's going to do here. A Rock Tomb is going to take down that Diggersby and also that Moltres, which means we are going to be able to win this battle. If they caught the move, they would have won the battle, so I don't know. It was very, very risky at the end, but we can move on to the final battle for today. And at this point, we're already 4-0 in this set. I was around like 2,940 elo at the start of this set, so I need a 5-0 to actually hit Legend. If I don't get a 5-0, I am not going to be able to hit Legend. Of course, you know from this video already, we are going to be able to hit that. And again, Mangano is going to showcase why this Pokemon is so overpowered. We are going to be able to get to that next Rock Tomb before the Lapras can go for another move, allowing us to get a double shield advantage. We have 2 great answers against Lapras in the back as well. And again, Primeape is showcasing as well why it's so strong. In comes a Gligar, out comes a Gligar. Goodbye, Gligar. This is going to be it for you. Well, let's take a look what they have in the meta here. They're going to have the Talonflame. So definitely been a mistake by not going into the Talonflame. But then again, I would have also got a shield advantage against the Talonflame with my Primeape because of the speed of this Pokemon. And so they're going to be forced to go for the charge move here, which I actually decide to shield up because I know that I can go for another Rage Fist here, and I also know that we are going to be in such a positive position here with the opponent's Lapras being still in there. I can even go for another Rage Fist, and this seals the deal here already, as this Rage Fist is going to allow us to knock them out. They didn't even see our final Pokemon, and this is just showcasing the dominance of this team. I think I went 15 sets total without actually losing a single set of it, like without going negative, a single set of it, and this got me up to Legend. Hopefully this team can do it for you as well if you're still struggling. This was it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you enjoyed the journey as well on the channel, feel free to leave a like, subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you then. Bye bye.